3 weeks ago, I reviewed a mod on how to drastically increase the number of classmates you can have at your high school in The Sims 4. Now, after that video, I got several questions on, are there mods to increase the number of teachers, more cafeteria workers? What about prom and other after-school activities? Or how about even choosing your classmates and choosing your teachers? Well, I'm excited to say there's an answer to those questions, and it's actually the same mod. Because a lot can change in 3 weeks, and this mod has had pretty much a complete overhaul. And I mean that in the best of ways. So today I'll be showing you all the updates that this mod has gone through, including the optional items, how you'll install everything, and how to actually use everything in-game. But before we get into that, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe to my channel so that you can see other cool mods that I may go over in the future. So we're back on Nexus Mods, and this is a mod website that is free to use, but you do need to set up an account in order to download any of the mods. I also want to point out that for this website, if you download a mod, you enjoy a mod, and you recommend the mod, you actually want to click this button that will say endorse. I've already done it, so past tense. But that way the community on this website can see that not only are there a ton of downloads, but it's a great quality mod and other people should check it out. So make sure you give support and don't forget to endorse the mod if you enjoy it. Now, when it comes to my overview of this mod, that is not supposed to be a full substitution to reading the description, because they may be going over new versions of the mod, or they may be going over how to avoid certain conflicts. So always be sure that you read the description. So all of that said, a lot of this is a general overview of what to do in the game once you download the mod. And we'll be getting to each of those items once I hop into the game in a few minutes. So what we're really going to go over first is the installation instructions. And again, these instructions and this video is accurate for the current version of this mod, and I will put the version number and the upload date on the screen right now so that you know which one specifically I'm using. The mod does now include a script, so if you're using the version from my first video and you plan to update it with the newer version, you could actually remove the XML injector. And for anyone who is new to script mods, it is an option that you have to enable when you load the game. So if you've already been using script mods and you have for a while, you don't have to make any changes. There are also some optional downloads in addition to the base version of this mod. And these will add different features or allow compatibility with other mods that edit the same code in the game that normally would have caused a conflict. And we have all these options, but what actually allows for the compatibility is the resource override file. There is this recommended reading of this Tumblr blog that essentially goes over what an override file is, how you make it, and really just gives you an understanding of just how you are modifying your game. And sometimes, even if you're not making mods, it's nice to know how things kind of work a little bit. If you have the School Tweaks mod, and this is a mod that I do actually already have in my game, and I am excited to see the developments of this mod as well. Normally, the two mods would not play nicely together since they edit the same data. So if you want them to play nicely together, make sure you download this file. There's also one of two options of either getting ready for class earlier or getting ready for class later. And this is in specific reference to the free time in the morning and the lunch time in the afternoon. Sometimes it will take the Sims ages to actually get back to the classroom. So for me, I actually am using the get ready for class earlier version of this. But for some people, if you prefer to let your Sims have a little bit more free time before they get to class, then you may want the version that has your Sims go to class a little bit later. There's also an addition that removes the club outfits that Sims will sometimes wear on like the spirit days and activity days. So if you're tired of coming to school and everyone's in like a sports jacket or the computer club tees, and you just want them to wear their regular everyday clothes, you will want to add this file. And if you're using the Fashion Authority mod, which can apply uniforms to all students, and that's the same mod that I went over about a week and a half ago, you actually don't need this extra package file. And I know this seems like a lot of files, but it's actually really easy. When you go to the Files tab, you're going to see a few different sections. You'll see Main Files, which is the main file you will need in order to run the base version of this mod. There's also the optional files, which are the ones that we just went over. Then if you go down, you'll see old files. You can actually see right here this version, the 1.2 of the main files, that is the one that I used in my previous review of this mod. Just in case you want a more simple version, this is the one that I used. So in this video, I'm using the main file right here. I'm using the compatibility with chipped school tweaks. I'm using get ready for class earlier, the no club outfits during school, and the resource file. So when you finish downloading everything, it'll look something like this. There'll be 5 different zip files, and the next steps are important because they don't all go in the same place. I'm also opening up my actual mods folder so that this makes a little bit more sense. But here are the specific instructions. Place the resource file that we downloaded in the regular mods folder. For any of these optional add-ons, they will need to go in a separate folder that you create inside the mods folder, and you can name it technically anything, but for this mod and the way that the resource file is currently set up, it will need to be titled overrides. If you want to name it something else, you will need to edit the resource file, which again, this Tumblr shows you exactly how to do right here. It's as simple as opening up a text file and changing the name of the folder right where it says overrides. But if you are new to this, I would recommend keeping everything exactly as is. So for the resource file, you will already have one in your game by default. All you will need to do is delete the one that currently exists in your mod folder, and then using whatever zip file extractor you have, you would just click and drag and add it to the mods folder. And then when it comes to the additional optional files, those will actually go in your newly created overrides folder. For mine, I actually added an underscore at the beginning. That way it pops up right at the top for me. And you could see in my resource file, I just edited, that is a word that shouldn't exist, but I've added the underscore so that it recognizes the actual folder name that I'm adding these additional files into. And you could see that I've already done it here, but it should look exactly like this. And then for the last file, and this is the base version of the mod, when you extract it, it will actually create its own folder, which just go in your main mods folder. Don't put it in another subfolder because there is a script mod in there, and scripts do not work if they are 2 subfolders deep. So this one should just sit and live in your regular mods folder. With that, we're pretty much ready to jump into the game, but I do want to point out this section, which does recommend the use of another mod called Control Any Sim version 1.2.2. And normally I would use anything recommended for a mod like this, but I'm not getting too nitty-gritty today, and also this mod technically hasn't been updated in a couple of years, and the game is broken enough, I am not tempting fate. And this mod isn't really required, it's just to make your life a little bit easier when trying to set up the students for the main 4 activities mentioned in this section. Again, I highly recommend reading this entire description and making the choices that best fit your gameplay. The first thing we need to do in order to test this mod is to choose the students who will show up in our classroom. Because in the current version of the mod, we have to pick our classmates. So it's built in, and based on how many Sims we select will be the amount that show up. So same as usual, we have my Sim self, who is now also in a household with my actual husband himself. We also have the household with the other teens from my other Let's Play videos, and then we have this little family which was created by one of you. So if you have Sims that you want to have show up in any of my Let's Plays or any other videos I make like this one, if you use the hashtag KimbaSprite Sims on the Sims 4 gallery, that is the first place I look for any new Sims. I've also downloaded these other households. This has a football team, chess team, cheer team, computer team, and some mean teens, because all of these things, having at least one student in each of these categories, is required for the high school to function. And these are actually all downloaded from Sim Madness on the Sims 4 gallery. They specialize in making background NPCs, people in certain categories. This is a really great creator if you want to have Sims set up who are already in their careers, already kind of in their uniforms, and they're just set and ready to go. So here is how we select our students. First, I'm going to pay the bills, but you do it all from your mailbox, and you'll see this option here, high school students. We are first going to add all the students to our school. and then we are going to assign them to specific classes. The school we're going to be using today, it allows for having up to 6 classes. This mod allows for 4, and each of the classes in the school have 10 desks in them. Some quick math real quick. My MCCC zone settings is currently set to 50. So 40 students, 4 teachers, 1 principal, 1 custodian, and the possibility of 2 to 4 cafeteria workers. So this picker will show you all the teens in your world, but it will only allow you to pick up to 40 students. And I've chosen 39 so that I can be the 40th sim. So now we have all of our students added, and we'll go back to the mailbox, click on students, classes, and we'll see 1, 3, and 4. The logic here is that we add everyone to class 1, 3, and 4, and then the overflow will go in what would be the second class. So we're going to go with class 1. And since both Jordan and I are in the same household, we will, by default, always show up in classroom number 1. So I need to add 8 other students. And then for class 3, we will add 10. For class 4, we will add 10. And then the remaining students will show up in class 2 when we get to the high school. So now I'm going to go to faculty, teachers, and I would recommend first removing all the possible teachers. I swear, these two look like the same sim. Maybe it's just the hair though. But we're going to remove all teachers and then add teachers. Just because I want to confirm, oh, we're definitely having Bella Goth. We're just going to confirm that each and every selection we make yields the results that we want. And then the last one we will add is Liliana. That should give us 4 teachers. Gonna remove the janitor. We're gonna add a janitor. Bess, you are up because she still hasn't paid me back from the literal thousands of dollars. See, even she's frustrated. Literally thousands of dollars that this woman has stolen from a teenager. This is 100% self-indulgent. I'm adding the pancakes as cafeteria workers just because of their names. Same with Mila Munch. No, I don't want to have just married couples. We'll do Moira. Moira Fires. Hopefully she doesn't start any fires at the school. So since we have 4 possible cafeteria workers, but we only have 2 stations, the game will just randomly select which 2 it will spawn each day. So that way you can have a little bit of variety of who actually shows up to be a cafeteria worker. And I've removed the principal, and now I'm adding the principal. And we'll have Santa be our principal, because I've just chosen chaos at this point. So now we're going to fast forward and hop into the school day once it comes up. Also, important to mention, the school that we are playing in today is different than the last few ones that we've used. This is actually one that I built for my Avatar Let's Play series, but it has not yet been playtested. So this will be my playtest. Hopefully we don't run into anything too strange, but I think we'll be okay. Look at this big old crowd. Whew. So right now, the crowd at the front will just steadily start to dissipate as we get closer to the start of the school day. But I do know it's in the plans of the mod creator that they're going to address that later on. So again, continue to watch the mods page for any updates. Also very important to note that the game does have issue with a changeover between different phases of the school day. And it's been recommended for this mod that you don't fast forward as you get closer to one of those transitions. So going from morning free time to, the first class to the lunch to the second class time. So just make sure you don't fast forward. But real quick, we're going to take a nice little look around. We have Bess as our janitor. We have Mila as one of our cafeteria workers. We have Clement Frost, principal. We have Lilith, one of the teachers. And I'm going to try to find some of the other teachers, but wowza, look at all these students. Some of which missing clothes, probably because I'm missing custom content, but we can see it's working. So I'm going to go ahead and claim a locker real quick. And I'm also going to assign a locker. And we'll assign this one to Aspen because this is part of one of the extra mods that I had installed that we specifically downloaded a compatibility file for, so we can see that it still works. We'll see Aspen come over and claim her locker, and then we can see it now belongs to her. So thanks to that compatibility file that we downloaded, that mod now works in line with this one. And we could see our whiteboard is glowing, which means we're gonna get ready for class. We have a little bit of musical chairs, but here we go. We have teacher 1, teacher 2, This is classroom 3, teachers missing. All the students are here, and classroom 4. So we're missing some teachers, but I think I know why. And this again is why you always want to check which mods are in conflict, because you may see some random straggling teens in the background. And that's because in my own effort to have the school appear populated, I included that more visitors mod. And ooh, prom is coming up. So now that we're at the end of the school day, I'm gonna first check out what classes we have tomorrow. Tuesday we have social studies and language. So I'm going to keep this as my assigned classroom. And we'll have some fun. We'll assign class 3 to science and class 4 to music. And I'm going to remove the more visitors. I have it as a challenge, but the more visitors mod, which does exactly as it says. So hopefully tomorrow we will have all of our people show up. All right, round 2, here we go. Looking so far so good. We got class teacher 1, class teacher 2, class teacher 3, and class teacher 4. We also have our first cafeteria worker. It's Moira today. Yep, here's Clement Frost. And I'm sure we'll see Beth around when class starts. All right, classroom 1, everyone's here. Classroom 2, maybe not everyone spawned in. Class 3, we have everyone, though this person decided to be on the floor. Oh, and is it time for him to become class famous and stick the landing? Knowing how Jordan was as a teen, he's gonna toss it. Jordan flicks a spare pencil up towards the ceiling. Something in that sentence is weird. A couple of classmates gasp, and Jordan allows himself a small, confident smile. Good for him. But anyway, classroom 4 is all filled up as well. So it looks like today was pretty much a success. Up, and there's Bess. And here is Mila Munch. Mila Munch coming in for lunch. So other than missing some students in classroom 2, I think we did good today. And also some musical chairs. But that's just The Sims, to be honest. Time for lunch. And since we have 2 cafeteria workers, it's not as initially congested. That's very cool. We're back home for the night, and Bess appears to have had a change of heart since coming into her new job role. My business is taking off, all thanks to you. I want to give you at least half this month's earning as a reward for all the trouble I put you through. Heck yeah. What? 25,000 simoleons. Well, thanks, Bess. Like, actually, thanks. The Sims needs to chill, because both these characters literally just developed the same fear. Literally just grabbing fear, be gone. Alright, kids. Drink up your drink and be not afraid. We're just doing a quick run through and we're going to career day. Because this is an event that this mod modifies. And since with the last version we saw that career day was really sparse, this will clearly show us that an enhancement has been made to that event. And yeah, as we can see, there's a lot more students than there previously were, but the mod specifically only allows for like a handful of students. So it says it's restricted to 3 groups of 10 selected students. So we can see besides the 2 of us, we have about 14 other students, plus a teacher. So it's more than like the 8 that we had last time. Bess, you gotta stop this. Do you think we're in a simulation right now? You know what? Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Bess knows what's up, man. Ooh, sports day. Sports ball festival. Because this is yet another event that the mod enhances. Stop doing your homework, nerd. It's sports ball time. There we go. Sports ball. Let's do a cheer routine together. Or we can exist as just a grouping of Sims. But we're taking the gang and we're gonna do a little bit of cheering. You can also see there's some people doing some basketball. And there's a lot of people hanging out in the cafeteria, so maybe they're not necessarily doing sports stuff, but there are people. The Sims is being very generous in what someone's first time cheering would look like. Because I can tell you, I'm not going to be doing backflips and jumping splits. For all the students that are on the lot, there aren't really any at the festival, which is a bit of a bummer since so many of them did spawn and they are here at the school. So it does look like a lot of them are leaving. Definitely more students, but not the event of the summer or anything. I don't think they're going to be making many profits over here. It's Friday, so today Fingers crossed, all the faculty show up. Gotta do a little bit of prom posing. That way we can fully experience prom. And there's our little promposal. Beauties. Here we go. It actually is a little frightening seeing them all move as one. Classroom number 1, it looks like we have all 10 students. So a little bit of musical chairs, again, kind of normal at this point. Class 4, we're missing a teacher. But for the most part, we have everyone showing up as they should and doing the things they're supposed to be doing. I don't see them. Oh, nope, there. River's just chilling. He's the one we're missing. I think he's the one that we're missing in one of the classrooms. This is classic. Sad pizza boy. I mean, it's hard to be sad when you're on a pizza floaty, but overall, mod is looking good. It's doing, you know, what it's supposed to be doing. And today I decided to stay after school because the cheer competition was happening. So I wanted to see if things would be any different if I stayed on the lot while going to an event or if I just went from home. Dance party in the music room. All right. I mean, we're supposed to be doing cheer, so this is pretty close. There are actually more students showing up from when we start on the school. So that may be something worth noting, that if you are wanting to do the events, just wait it out at the school. Because yeah, there's like way more people that are showing up and actually coming over. This dude literally just gonna stand here while I'm trying to take a picture. Look at the cuteness. Yeah, loads more students. About 13 students, so that's pretty cool. I'm not sure how I went from a score of 3 to a score of 225, but thanks, Sims. All right, our final test will be the prom. See how that all looks and works out.
A few moments later.
Here we go, let's travel. Well, guess prom's canceled. And if that isn't the most Sims ending, I don't know what. Because that's not the mod creator, that's just the Sims. That's just the Sims. If you want me to try for prom again, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna leave it until one of my 2 Let's Plays hits a prom. Please also let me know if you enjoyed this video or if there are any other mods that either you're looking for or if there's a mod that you would like me to take a closer look at. Overall, really enjoying this mod. But if I had a few key takeaways from it, I would probably still try to limit the overall number of students that you have in a school, because I feel like when we're at the max capacity, that's probably where a lot of these issues are coming from. But that also comes down to just Sims performance issues, which isn't something that can really be avoided. And again, you can pick this mod up over on Nexus Mods. Just be sure to leave an endorsement if you like it. But with that, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.